What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Ja Trades, and welcome back to another video. And today I just want to talk about the confluences I use to help me net 20K in a single week in trading. Now, if you didn't see my last video, I took my payouts in the last video. It was around 10K to end the week. So I showed my payouts in the last video, and I also showed a live payout as well. So you know I'm not one of these fake gurus trying to sell you a fake course that doesn't work. No, I'm not doing that. But I do have a Discord, by the way. So I have a free side and a premium side. In the premium, I go over, I announce what I'm doing. As you can see, I announce some plays that I'm looking in. It's not financial advice, by the way. Legally, I'm supposed to say that it is not financial advice. But yeah, I talk to the members, see what's going on. I go over my trade analysis, my trade reviews, and I'm going to be adding a ton of value right now. So I do plan on adding a 7-day free trial for you guys. So hey, why not check it out risk-free? I'll leave the link down below in the description. Plus, it's only $25 a month. So name another proven trader that's doing prices like that to show their live trades and call-outs and a bunch of other things I'm going to add soon. But anyway, that being said, make sure you go hit the WAP link in the description. Follow my social medias on Instagram, TikTok, and on here too, as well as YouTube. And oh yeah, before I continue showing my confluences, I am 14 followers away from 1K on Instagram. So I will be doing a giveaway for a free 50K eval from Topstep. So $50, I'll send the winner $50. I already did a giveaway before, as you can see up here, and I paid out everybody. If we go to the group chat, or not the group chat, the community chat, and scroll up, I paid out everybody that won that giveaway. So you know I'm not trying to BS you or anything. You see, I paid everybody out that one. But that being said, let's go over the confluences that I use when trading. And the last one is my most important one, so you might want to stay for that. But yeah, the first one of the first confluences I use, which I think you should use as well, is supply and demand. And like, okay, what is supply and demand? It's basically like support and resistance, basically where price tends to hang around a lot before making a big push. So I use that just because I want to know when price is going to be consolidating, basically, when I can look for an entry to be on the right side of the market, depending on order flow, what order flow looks like, which I'll get into later. But yeah, I basically use supply and demand. I'm sure you've heard of it before. And to mark my supply and demand zones, let me clear this chart real quick. To mark my supply and demand zones, first of all, let's switch to the 15-minute. I hop on a 15-minute chart and just basically look for, okay, where did price heavily move before or after consolidation? So looking at this chart, as you can see right here, this would be a perfect spot to mark. Price consolidated from here to up here before having a fat move to the downside, right? And as you can see later in the chart, you see we retested these areas and then pushed right back down. Just look for areas of consolidation, like I said, on a 15-minute. Most I would use is a 5-minute, because if you use the 1 minute, you're just tripping. But anyways, I would look for these areas where price just had a fat movement down. Let me see if I can find another one for you guys where we consolidated and then had a pretty big movement. Let's see. Up here it looks like, but that might be the same one, but no, it was right below it. So, and as you can see, we retested it multiple times, bounced out of it, and then yeah. So yeah, I use supply and demand. Let me see if I can find one for the long side. It looks like right here I can find one. We had a fat move right around here, so I would mark somewhere down here. That would be a good supply zone. We kind of tested it. It's probably a news event or something. We kind of tested it right here. But yeah, this is just one of the confluences that I use to help my trading. I don't solely use it like, okay, if price touches, tests this, I'm going to take a long. No, that's not how I trade. I want to look for other confluences to go along with supply and demand. And one of those confluences that I am talking about is a Fibonacci retracement. I also use Fibonacci retracements. So how I use Fibonacci retracements is either I look at the overall trend, so from bottom to top, let's say from, oops, excuse me. Let me drag over here. Let's say from the bottom of this trend to the top, I would look for a pullback to the 0.5, which we did right here, or the 0.618, which we did. We cleared it a little bit, but we obviously bounced back up. So on top of supply and demand, I would look for a pullback on the retracements as well. See if it retraces back to the supply zone. But yeah, that's one of the ways I use Fibonacci, the Fibonacci tool. The other way I use it is I look for the market open, whether it's the Asian market or New York open. Let's find it, 6:30 in the morning. So how I would do it, let's see, 6:30 in the morning is right here. So let's zoom in. I would take the initial balance of the first hour and just wherever top to bottom from, I would just mark out and wait for a pullback to the 0.5 or the 0.6. As you can see, we didn't do that today, but it is Juneteenth, so I didn't even trade today because I knew the market was gonna be moving wonky. I hope he didn't trade today either. But yeah, that's how I use Fibonacci, the Fibonacci tool. I wait for pullbacks into the 0.5 to the 0.618. Sometimes I do use the 0.382, depending of how rangy we are on the day, how volatile price is. But for the most part, I use a 0.5 and a 0.618. And okay, that's the second one that I use, second confluence I use. And the last and most important one that I use is order flow. I will not take a trade without looking at order flow, because this is what I don't know what to tell you. Let's just put it like this. Big institutions don't look at candlesticks to take trades. I'm gonna be honest. They don't look at it. So I'm not saying it's bad to look at candlesticks, because yes, there are historical patterns to be seen in candlesticks. But I think if you want to level up as a trader, order flow is the number one thing to look at, just because big institutions are not looking at candlesticks. They are using order flow. Probably have way more advanced tools than what I'm looking at right now, like a heat map or the DOM or something. But they use some type of order flow to see who's taking the trades, where are they taking the trades at, where to get in at, and things of that nature. So yeah, that being said, the way I use order flow is I look at order flow whenever we touch a supply zone. So let me get back to that chart. Whenever we touch a supply zone, like up here, I would look at order flow to see, okay, are buyers starting to step up a little bit? Are buyers being rejected? In this case, by the way. So just flip it if I was looking for longs. But obviously in this area, we're looking for shorts because basically we came back in retesting the zone. But anyway, I'm looking at, okay, are buyers being successful through this area? Are they having success? Are they having a problem getting through this area? Are they struggling? Just things of that nature. And all of this is shown on the book map. As you can see, I'm going to use that example for later. But if we look back, we see we had a push up, but not a lot of buying strength coming up. As you can see, we had 113 right here, 143 buyers struggling to push past this zone, and then we eventually dumped after that. And if you see at the bottom, it wasn't really a lot of volume going on as well with the buyers. So that's what I look for as a confluence when it comes to supply and demand, and also with the Fibonacci retracements as well. I look for the same thing when we retrace to one of those areas that I talked about earlier. I looked if we're looking for shorts, if buyers are pushing past that area with ease, or are we holding a certain point at that certain area? Are sellers starting to come in, take control, and just things of that nature. Also use the DOM, but I use more of the heat map more than the DOM, so I'm just gonna cover the DOM for now. But yeah, I use that when I use those other confluences. That's what I use, or I use order flow to help out those confluences. But if I were to use bookmap alone, which I do also do a lot, I look for low volume nodes. And what low volume nodes are, just basically areas where prices push through at low volume. So as you can see, if I mark this area down here, let's see, rectangle, you see right here, this area, this little rectangular area, if I look to the right, volume conducted at high amounts of volume, as you can see, and you see we had a lot of consolidation as well between that. But If you look right above it, let me edit this real quick and get this out of here. But if you see right above it, we had a lot of low volume in this area, right? Oops. We had a lot of low volume in this area. And from this area to down here, this was the open. So this is where I'll say I use the Fibonacci as well. Because as you can see, we push down and we retrace into this low volume area where price conducted at low volume. And the reason low volume, real quick, the reason low volume is significant to me is that means in this example that sellers push through this price without letting a lot of people get filled in this area. Now, it doesn't always work. Obviously, you won't always win every trade with this, but I find a significant amount of trades be successful when I look at low volume nodes. So because we pushed through so fast in this area, it created an area of low volume, which means all the sellers that wanted to sell in this area didn't get an opportunity to. So that's why I look at, okay, when we retrace back to it, whether it's with the Fibonacci or with supply and demand, whatever it, or by itself, when we retrace back to it, I want to look for sales right back into it. And we have a perfect example right here as buyers push back into this area, but are struggling to push through any parts of this low volume node. Now, the low volume node is this is ES, by the way. So the low volume node usually is smaller, but this one is 10 points. So usually it's smaller, like 4 or 5 points. I risk like 4 or 5 points, but this one is 10 points. I would definitely look for something like more inside of it. But as you can see, it still wouldn't be a bad trade because as you can see, we had buying volume pushing in, as you can see at the bottom, a bunch of green bars coming in. And as you can see by the bubbles, we had 659 buyers come in right here. Pushed back down. It came back up, 426 buyers, 67 buyers, 58 buyers, 379 buyers, 156 buyers. And you look at this like, okay, why aren't the markets moving up? What's going on? We have a bunch of aggressive buyers coming in at this price, at this low volume node. Why isn't the market moving up? It isn't moving up because all the passive sellers that didn't get the opportunity to sell earlier are starting to get their chance to get in the market and sell down. And as you can see, we tapped into the low volume node. 974 buyers, right exactly at where the low volume node started, and we push down immediately for almost, let's see, it starts at around let's just call that 89, right? We pushed all the way down after tapping into it and buyers being rejected. We pushed all the way down to 73. So almost, let's just say around 15 points just by testing this low volume node. Now, obviously, I used the other confluences as well with it. I'm pretty sure from this low volume node alone, I would have had a retracement as well. So those confluences together would have been perfect because as you can see, from the top of the open to the bottom, we retrace. It looks around like 50%, just by the looks of it. It could be less, could be more, but it looks about right. So that alone, this would be an A+ setup for me. I mean, it could be better because the stop loss would have been huge. But other than that, if the stop loss was smaller, it would have been an A+ setup. But yeah, that's my confluences. I really do recommend you use order flow. This is Bookmap. If you don't know what this is, I know it looks crazy like a little spaceship, but it's basically just the green bubbles are buyers, red bubbles are sellers. This shows the volume on the right side. And yeah, it's really not that deep. And all these things in the background is just limit buys or limit sales at that price. So yeah, that's the confluences I use. That's what helped me net 10K in a single week with Topstep. And overall net 20K in a single week. So yeah, then saying it again, yeah, if you want to come trade with me live every day, hit that WAP down below in the description. I'm going to update it to 7 free days. So you have a 7-day free trial. So it's risk free to you. If you don't like it, you can leave. I mean, it's really nothing to me. I mean, I charge $25 and I just made 10K in a week. Not to brag or anything. I couldn't have done this without God, obviously. But, you know, $25, it's appreciated, but it really wouldn't, you know, overall, you know, I'm not, whatever. But yeah, that being said, hit the WAP down below if you want to come trade with me live every day. yeah, and I'm also doing a giveaway. Make sure you follow my Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to YouTube. Comment if you have any questions. And yeah, what am I forgetting? Yeah, and giveaway. As soon as I hit 1K on Instagram, giving away a Topstep account. So yeah, make sure you go follow my Instagram and like my reels and stuff, I guess. But yeah, that's the confluences I use. I know I'm looking like a little nerd. I got my little gaming glasses on. It helps me protect my eyes. So whatever. I look at the charts all day, so I gotta protect my eyes. But yeah, that's the confluences I use. Have any questions? Leave them down below or come to my Discord to ask me. Yeah, live every day in my WAP. Join up. Why not? Free 7-day free trial. It's been your boy Jaw Trades, and yeah. Hope you guys had a successful trading week and your trading success continues. God bless. Deuces.